Our world is saturated with sexual imagery. It's on billboards, in magazines, movies, TV, and social media. This constant barrage of sexual content has become the norm. But have we ever stopped to ask why? Why is our society so fixated on sex? What are the driving forces behind this phenomenon? It's easy to point fingers or make moral judgments. However, a deeper examination is required. We need to critically examine how this hypersexualization affects individuals and society as a whole. To understand today's hypersexualized society, we need to rewind to the mid-20th century. The sexual revolution of the 1960s challenged traditional norms and increased visibility and discussion of sexuality. The birth control pill gave women greater control over their bodies, contributing to a more permissive sexual climate. This period marked a departure from conservatism and paved the way for a more open view of sexuality. Alongside the sexual revolution, the rise of pornography gained wider accessibility and acceptance. The internet revolutionized access to explicit content, normalizing sexual imagery in mainstream culture. As pornographic content became more accessible, it influenced mainstream media, blurring lines between softcore and hardcore. This desensitized audiences to explicit imagery and normalized the objectification of bodies. The shift towards a sexually liberated society presented a unique opportunity for businesses. Capitalism quickly recognized the potential of leveraging sex to sell products. Advertisers realized that sex sells, permeating advertising across all media. The fashion, music, and entertainment industries also capitalized on this trend. Capitalism cleverly intertwined sex with aspiration, selling an entire lifestyle. This lifestyle evokes desire and envy, with the implicit promise of sexual fulfillment. Social media influencers further blur the lines between advertising and aspiration. This constant exposure to idealized lifestyles fuels consumerism. The use of sex in advertising is often framed as empowerment. Women are encouraged to flaunt their bodies, but this is a carefully constructed illusion. It's a form of exploitation disguised as liberation, reinforcing harmful gender stereotypes. This focus on sexual empowerment overshadows other forms of female empowerment. The constant bombardment of sexualized imagery devalues humanity. This objectification can have profound psychological consequences, particularly for young people. It contributes to body image issues, unrealistic relationship expectations, and desensitization to violence. On a societal level, it perpetuates harmful gender stereotypes and fosters a culture of violence and exploitation. Technology, particularly social media, has accelerated hypersexualization. Algorithms prioritize and amplify sexual content to maximize user engagement. Content creators resort to provocative imagery to gain visibility. This creates a race to the bottom, normalizing hypersexualization online. Social media has given rise to influencers who project aspiration and desirability. Their income depends on selling products with sex appeal as a powerful tool. This commodification of the self pressures individuals to present a hypersexualized version of themselves. They focus on physical appearance and engage in behaviors that garner attention. Online dating apps have reduced dating to a game of swiping based on physical appearance. This gamification leads to a culture of instant gratification and superficial judgment. Algorithms prioritize attractive users, creating a feedback loop. This rewards sexually suggestive behavior, further normalizing hypersexualization. Social media has become a modern-day coliseum where sex sells. The pursuit of online validation leads to self-sexualization, especially among young people. This creates a dangerous feedback loop, leading to anxiety, depression, and body image issues. Young people begin to measure their worth by likes and comments, believing their value lies in their physical appearance. Dating apps have become breeding grounds for superficiality. The process of finding a partner is reduced to swiping based on looks. This emphasis on physical appearance leads to a hypersexualized dating culture. Relationships become disposable, leaving little room for genuine connection. Mainstream media continues to push the boundaries of sexual content. The normalization of sexual violence and coercion desensitizes viewers. Media perpetuates harmful stereotypes about gender and sexuality. This impacts young viewers, leading to risky behavior and body image issues. The mental health fallout of hypersexualization is significant. Constant exposure to idealized beauty standards creates anxiety and insecurity. Social media amplifies this pressure, leading to distorted body image and eating disorders. The pressure to conform extends beyond appearance, affecting behavior and mental health. Distorted reality, fractured intimacy, the impact on relationships. Hypersexualization doesn't just affect individuals. It also impacts how we relate to one another. The constant bombardment of unrealistic beauty standards, coupled with the gamification of dating through apps, has created a culture of superficiality and instant gratification. Real-life relationships, with their complexities and imperfections, pale in comparison to the curated perfection presented online. The pursuit of the next swipe, the next match, the next best thing, becomes an addictive cycle. We become so fixated on finding the perfect partner, one who conforms to the unrealistic standards set by media and reinforced by algorithms, that we fail to appreciate the beauty of genuine connection and intimacy. The pressure to present a hypersexualized version of ourselves online spills over into our offline relationships. We may find ourselves comparing our partners to the idealized images we encounter on social media, leading to dissatisfaction and insecurity. The constant pursuit of external validation can undermine the foundation of trust and intimacy that healthy relationships require. Hypersexualization distorts our perceptions of love, intimacy, and commitment. We need to reclaim the narrative and redefine what it means to connect with another human being on a deeper, more meaningful level. Stolen innocence, hypersexualization, and the developing mind. Children and adolescents are particularly vulnerable to the harmful effects of hypersexualization. Their brains are still developing, and they are still forming their understanding of sex, relationships, and their own bodies. Exposure to hypersexualized content at a young age can have lasting consequences. Hypersexualization can lead to the premature sexualization of children. They may be exposed to content that is inappropriate for their age and developmental stage, leading to confusion, anxiety, and unhealthy attitudes towards sex. Girls in particular are often bombarded with messages that equate their worth with their physical appearance and sexual desirability. This early sexualization can have long-term implications for their self-esteem, body image, and relationships. It can also make them more vulnerable to sexual exploitation and abuse, as they may not have a clear understanding of healthy boundaries and consent. We have a responsibility to protect children from the harmful effects of hypersexualization. This means being mindful of the media they consume, having open and honest conversations about sex and relationships, and teaching them critical media literacy skills so they can navigate the digital landscape safely and responsibly. Empowering ourselves and future generations. Cultivating media literacy is crucial in our hypersexualized world. It's about developing a critical lens to analyze daily messages, empowering future generations to engage thoughtfully with media. Media literacy starts with education. Open conversations about media's influence are essential. Discuss unrealistic beauty standards and relationship dynamics. Teach the importance of consent and respect. Help young people deconstruct media messages. Identify manipulative techniques in media. Foster critical thinking and open dialogue. Equip individuals to navigate the media landscape. Conscious consumption. Shifting the narrative, one choice at a time. As consumers, we hold immense power. Every click, every purchase, every like is a vote for the kind of world we want to live in. By making conscious choices about the media we consume and the brands we support, we can shift the narrative away from hypersexualization and towards a more balanced and respectful representation of individuals and relationships. This means being mindful of the content we engage with online. Unfollowing accounts that promote unrealistic beauty standards, objectify bodies, or glorify superficiality is a powerful first step. Instead, we can choose to support creators who prioritize diversity, authenticity, and meaningful content. This includes artists, musicians, writers, and influencers who challenge the status quo and offer alternative narratives. Our purchasing power extends beyond the digital realm. By supporting brands that promote body positivity, diversity, and ethical manufacturing practices, we can send a clear message that we value companies that prioritize social responsibility over profits at any cost. Advocating for change policy and the pursuit of a healthier media landscape. Creating lasting change requires a multi-pronged approach. Policy and advocacy are crucial for systemic change. Governments must create a media landscape that protects vulnerable populations. Stricter regulations are needed to curb hypersexualized imagery in advertising. Social media platforms should be accountable for their content. Together, we can create a world where individuals are valued for their humanity. The urgency of awareness. We've journeyed through the complex web of historical, economic, and technological forces that have culminated in our hypersexualized society. From the shifting norms of the sexual revolution to the rise of social media, each thread has contributed to the normalization of explicit imagery and the commodification of sex. We've explored how this hypersexualization, while often presented under the guise of empowerment and liberation, has far-reaching consequences for individuals and society as a whole. It's crucial to acknowledge the pervasiveness of this issue. Hypersexualization isn't confined to one platform, one industry, or one demographic. It's woven into the very fabric of our culture. It shapes our perceptions of beauty, influences our desires, and impacts how we relate to one another. Ignoring its presence won't make it disappear. It will only allow it to continue its insidious work unchecked. The mental health fallout, the distorted relationship dynamics, the stolen innocence, these are not mere abstract concepts. They are the lived experiences of countless individuals struggling to navigate a world saturated with unrealistic expectations and harmful messages. We owe it to ourselves and future generations to confront this issue head-on and work towards a healthier, more balanced media landscape. Towards a more balanced future. Reversing hypersexualization isn't easy, but it's possible. It demands a multi-pronged approach, empowering individuals, fostering critical thinking, and advocating for systemic change. We must be mindful consumers, engage in honest conversations, and challenge harmful content. Cultivating media literacy is paramount. By equipping future generations to critically analyze media, we can dismantle manipulative marketing. Teach young people to identify unrealistic beauty standards and deconstruct gender stereotypes. Conscious consumption is powerful. Every choice we make sends a message about the world we want. Support creators and companies that prioritize diversity and ethical practices. Advocating for policy change is crucial. Stricter regulations on advertising are essential. Hold social media platforms accountable for their content. The path to a balanced future requires collective effort. Engage in critical dialogue and work together for a world where individuals are valued for their humanity. It's a future worth striving for, where respect and genuine connection take precedence. The journey begins with awareness. It's a call to action to challenge the status quo and be the change. Reclaim our narratives and create a world where everyone can thrive, free from hypersexualization. Subscribe to Life Factually for more insightful content on the issues that matter. Stay informed and engaged. Share this video with your friends and family.